This is what Cedar Point announced will be new for 2017. This is a ScreenFlow recording video on my MacBook Pro Retina of the official info on cedarpoint.com. I'm going to add my commentary and not just read the website throughout the entire video. I'll show you clips from my other relevant Cedar Point videos to add some insight I think you'll find informative since I'm a Platinum Season Pass holder. I've been shooting videos of the park since 2006. I shot about 100 videos so far this season. I still have some to upload. And of course I'll shoot Halloween weekends. Here's an overview before we look at the details. Mean Streak roller coaster in the back of the park is being torn down to expand Frontier Town, in my opinion with the virtual reality dark ride area, food and merchandising. Soak City is being renamed Cedar Point Shores Water Park and expanded with new thrill slides, kiddie slides, cabanas, and family areas. Breakers Express Hotel outside of the park before the causeway is expanding and renamed Cedar Point's Express Hotel. Hotel Breakers that was recently renovated adds a 6-story 158 guest room expansion opening in 2018. That's located on the Cedar Point Beach on Lake Erie. Finally, Sports Force Parks at Cedar Point Center is on Route 6 on the way to Cedar Point and shows Cedar Point's skyline in the background with multi-purpose sports fields among other things we'll look at. They'll be hosting week-long girls softball and boys baseball tournaments that include week-long passes to Cedar Point. Now let's go back to each of the web pages and see the specific information. Let's take a look at Mean Streak Gets the Axe. Goodbye Mean Streak does mean it's going to be torn down. That infers it's not going to be retracked or repurposed like Mantis was into Rougarou. That went from a stand-up roller coaster to a floorless roller coaster. Why is it going away? Well, we can't say just yet. However, don't miss your chance to ride. It's open for riding on the following days: daily through September 5th, Saturday, September 10th, and Sunday, September 11th. Here's a fun thing they're going to do. The last rites. On Friday night, September 16th, which is opening night of Cedar Point's 20th Halloween weekends, we're saying our final goodbyes to Mean Streak. For 1 hour, 6 to 7 p.m., you can take one final ride on Mean Streak. Then at 7:30, they're going to have a special ceremony. Then Mean Streak will get its last rites. They'll march in procession from Frontier Town at the back of the park to Dead Ride Cemetery near the front of the park. If you go to my Cedar Point Halloween Weekends playlist, search for Defunct, you'll see a video of the Dead Ride Cemetery, including the Pirate Ride, which was the last dark ride that was removed in 1996, where they'll most likely unveil a tombstone. Why? Because they're making their way for future development in Frontier Town. Like I mentioned before, I think it's going to be an indoor virtual reality dark ride. Why? Because they've been doing this virtual reality testing on Iron Dragon. I did a video explaining what that's about. Here's a couple screens from my detailed ride report that tell you what I experienced on the ride. You can check out the entire video when you're done watching this. People have wanted a dark ride for a while. Virtual reality rides are popular at other parks. If you go to my YouTube homepage on Amusement 420 and search for Mean Streak, you'll see a couple Mean Streak videos and other videos I uploaded that Mean Streak appears in. So if we go to what's new in 2017, and we scroll down, let's take a look at Cedar Point Shores Water Park. It's the new name for Soak City. Now they're branding it as Cedar Point, which makes sense, but Soak City and the alliteration is a lot easier to say. So I don't know what people are going to call it. But big waves are coming in 2017. 18 acres, featuring 3 completely new water attractions, upgrades to food and merchandise locations, new cabanas, and so much more. Like I mentioned earlier, when they get rid of Mean Streak, that's going to be a big area to expand Frontier Town. And I think they're going to do this also with food and merchandise locations, in addition to a virtual reality dark ride. It makes sense to do things like this. So there's new ways to cool off. Point Plummet, the 6-story tall aqua-drop body slide, sends 4 riders on a nearly vertical free fall when the floor drops out from under them. So that's in keeping with the thrill ride tradition of Cedar Point. Starboard Surge and Portside Plunge. It's in the same structure as Point Plummet. They're two 5-story tube slides, can accommodate single riders or pairs, sends you through an enclosed tunnel, then shoots you out through intense drops and turns. Those are the thrill slides. Lakeside Landing is a family splash ground. There's 12 kid-sized water slides that go into a zero-depth entry pool. So kids get their own mini water thrills, while parents can relax under shade structures and enjoy an oversized lounge and sun deck area. New ways to dine. The new Crystal Rock Cafe includes these menu items. I won't repeat what it said, you can just read that. Pesto glazed grilled chicken sandwiches sounds like something new. Loaded potato wedges sounds pretty good. New ways to chill. All new cabanas. They'll be by the wave pool, with modern upgrades like free Wi-Fi and charging stations for your mobile devices, ceiling fans, TVs, they should have said HDTVs, and dedicated food and beverage service. We'll see if that includes a wait staff. They can accommodate friends, families, or even family reunions. If you go to my YouTube Amusement 420 homepage and search for beach, you'll see Cedar Point Nights on Cedar Point Beach with the glow party fireworks and also the setup of it. Now, something like the Cedar Point Nights beach party and the Soak City transformation is what happens when the CEO of Cedar Fair was formerly the president of Disney Cruise Lines. They're doing it in a tasteful manner though, so it still feels like Cedar Point. And really a lot of families were involved in this beach party. They did it for the last part of the summer. It's pretty cool. It included nightly fireworks on the beach. This is what the daytime setup on the beach by Hotel Breakers looked like. So Soak City is on the other side of Hotel Breakers. It makes sense to capitalize on the beach and Soak City being in close proximity and close to Lake Erie. So if you go to my YouTube page and search for Cedar Point Remove Skyscraper and Race Cars in Challenge Park, this is where they'll add the new water slides by Magnum. I think this is where the 12 kiddie water slides will be. If you go to my homepage and find Cedar Point Storm Power Outage Day, if you go to about 9 minutes of that video, you'll see the opposite side. It's where the Magnum Resort entrance is, and that's where the race cars used to be. So that brings us to Cedar Point's Express Hotel, formerly Breakers Express, which as I mentioned earlier, is right off the causeway. So you do have to drive a short distance to get to Cedar Point. Guests will enjoy new amenities and a fresh look at Cedar Point's Express Hotel. Once again, they're branding it Cedar Point, which makes sense. But once again, it'll be interesting to see what people call it, because Breakers Express is a lot easier to say, even though Cedar Point is more descriptive of who owns it and where it's at. So here's an artist's rendering. Gets new exterior paint, so it has the sandy beach color of the renovated Hotel Breakers, which we'll look at in a minute. Here's a rendering of the lobby. Has a modern look and feel to it. So here's the information. Coming in 2017, Breakers Express receives a complete makeover and transforms into Cedar Point Express Hotel with 69 new rooms. Guest rooms feature 2 queen beds, renovated bathrooms, bedding, mini fridges, microwaves, and connecting family suites for additional time to spend together. So that's another thing the CEO is marketing Cedar Point as a family vacation destination, or a staycation as they call it, if you're from Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Pennsylvania, New York, or even Canada. We'll have a new splash pad, an outdoor courtyard, featuring conversational living spaces, and a whimsical pool and relaxing deck area. So that's something I would have to see. Construction's already in progress and will last throughout the winter. And as always, you receive early entry to get into Cedar Point 1 hour before the general public, just like Platinum Pass holders do. Not all the rides are open, but a variety of roller coasters and family rides are usually open. You'll get deals on park admission tickets, which also includes the former Soak City called Cedar Point Shores for 1, 2, or 3 day tickets. And they say the closest rooms to the world's greatest collections of rides, but that's actually not true. But the closest ones are Hotel Breakers, Lighthouse Point, and Sandcastle Suites. and Camper Village for that matter. They're all located on Cedar Point's peninsula, so you're already parked there, and all you have to do is walk or take the Cedar Point shuttle. So check back on cedarpoint.com for rates and reservations on the 2017 season, available in early fall 2016. Once again, if you go to my YouTube Amusement 420 homepage, click on Playlists, find Cedar Point Resorts. I update the videos throughout the season. Right now I have Cedar Point Lighthouse Point videos, the Lighthouse Point Pier and Cottages, and several Hotel Breakers videos, including Hotel Breakers decorated for Halloween. I have Breakers renovation as it looked from the beach in 2014 and 15. If you want to see what Cedar Point's extra large crowd parking lot on Halloween looks like, I also show you how the park visitors who stay in Camper Village decorate for Halloween. So after the transformed water park, the updated Express Hotel, let's see what Cedar Point has to say about Hotel Breakers expansion. We're adding even more beautiful rooms to the classic beachfront Hotel Breakers. Here's a rendering of what it would look like. With the color scheme they chose for the renovation, let's see what they have to say. Hotel Breakers expansion. Cedar Point's historic Hotel Breakers is growing yet again. I have videos of the renovated Hotel Breakers. They're adding an additional 6-story tower to the classic beachfront property. It will house 158 guest rooms, with many of them configured as connecting family suites. So once again, they're putting a big emphasis on family vacations. So they add another outdoor pool area. That'll total 3. One they currently have is a kids pool. Construction begins after Labor Day 2016, so it will actually open the summer of 2018. But they're still calling it new for 2017. You're going to see construction during 2017, so they might as well tell you what it's for. With that addition, Hotel Breakers will have a total of 669 rooms, making it one of the largest hotels on the Great Lakes. Voted Hotel Breakers one of the top 25 hotels for families. So Cedar Point is building on that. It is very close to Cedar Point and the updated Soak City called Cedar Point Shores Water Park. Once again, guests who stay at all of the Cedar Point resorts get early entry just like Platinum Pass holders to ride select number of rides, roller coasters, and family rides 1 hour before the general public. You get deals on park admission tickets that include Cedar Point Shores for 1, 2, or 3-day tickets. On this page they got it right. I think they just copied and pasted into the Cedar Point Hotel Express page because Hotel Breakers, along with Lighthouse Point Deluxe Cabins, are the closest rooms to Cedar Point's entrances. So check back on cedarpoint.com in early fall 2016 for rates and reservations for the 2017 season. Once again, click on my Amusement 420 Cedar Point Resorts playlist. I'll be adding videos of Lighthouse Point and Hotel Breakers. And finally, another long name, Sports Force Parks at Cedar Point Sports Center. Once again, it will be interesting to see what people call it. The all-new Cedar Point Sports Center opens in 2017. There's Cedar Point, and here's Sports Force Park. Down here would be Route 6. This is the site of the old airport. It's currently under construction and they're making quite a bit of progress. But it's more than just baseball fields. Let's take a quick look at the slideshow. It's artificial turf. I believe it's the kind that has rubber in it, if you're familiar with Lake Erie Crushers Stadium. They're multi-purpose, so there'll be soccer, lacrosse, softball, and baseball all in the same fields. So they'll also have miniature golf, batting cages, playground areas, snacks. Looks like a pro shop. You can bet they're going to host a lot of tournaments. Before we look at Cedar Point's information, Sports Force Parks has their own website at sportsforceparksandusky.com. So for example, the Windmill Week-Long Extravaganza Girls Softball Tournament, you can pause these screens to read them or go to the website. But as far as Cedar Point perks are concerned, they'll have one free Cedar Point and Soak City pass. Of course, Soak City is just being renamed. Valid for the entire tournament. That's for every registered player and coach. Discounted Cedar Point tickets for family and friends. And scheduled off time during the tournament to fully experience Cedar Point and other Sandusky attractions. I'm not sure if they'll charge for parking at Sports Force during tournaments, like a lot of other kids' tournaments do these days. They also have a Facebook page that I subscribe to, and they have construction updates. You can also explore the park, where you can see construction progress. This is an aerial photograph of what it currently looks like in August 2016. You can see this is Route 6. Cedar Point is this way. That field is awfully close to Route 6, by the way. Once again, all this used to be an airport. So it's a pretty nice facility and a nice tie into Cedar Point. Once again, they're really marketing towards families. Tournaments generally draw from a wide area. People travel a lot to go to tournaments. So Cedar Point's definitely going to benefit from this. So back to cedarpoint.com. The inaugural season of operation beginning in March of 2017. Cedar Point's opening day is usually in early May. So it's focused on youth sports tournaments. Presumably no adult leagues. At least not for now. 9 multi-purpose synthetic turf fields. Those are very soft and easy on the ankles and knees. We have 4 NCAA regulation baseball fields, 8 NCAA regulation soccer and lacrosse fields, 1 championship baseball and softball stadium, 1 Americans with Disabilities Act accessible community use field, sport-specific training areas, such as batting cages. So it's more than just sports. 18-hole miniature golf course will keep everyone entertained. Cedar Point also has challenge golf by Hotel Breakers, trampolines, a rope course, great lawn outdoor activity area where they'll show movies. They might have an inflatable screen, I would guess. If you go to my Cedar Point Nights video, around 8 minutes, you can see the one they had on the beach in front of Hotel Breakers. It's a DLP projector, so it's a really good picture. It's a pretty good size. Cedar Point uses an Optima DLP projection system. Here's a couple still photos I took. I shot a couple video clips of the Cedar Point Nights movie screen being inflated. It would make sense if Sports Force Park used something like this. They also had it at Soak City, and the sound is pretty good too. Cedar Point Nights had fireworks at the other end of the beach. They were at 10:55 at night and they lasted 5 minutes. And since this is primarily a Cedar Point video, this is a banner that they had next to Soak City. They call it the Dive-In movie. So they showed The Force Awakens. The movie started at 8:30 p.m. at Breakers Bay Wave Pool. That was for all season pass holders and Cedar Point Resort guests. Now you might wonder how they can show these movies. I think they pay a licensing fee and they get to choose from a list of movies. I think libraries and schools do it that way. They just don't pop in a Blu-ray and start playing it. And they can't directly charge admission for it. So let's go back to the website. Promenade features a subway, park merchandise, and a playground, pro shop and photography center for tournament merchandise, select equipment, and professional photos taken during the tournaments. Once again, here's an artist rendering. So there's the link to their website that I showed you. So you can learn more and make reservations, book a tournament. So that was Phase 1. Phase 2 of the Cedar Point Sports Center, besides Sports Force Park, we'll see the introduction of a new Erie Metro Parks experience, with development of the land and the waterfront, with biking trails, scenic spaces to relax, and unparalleled views of Lake Erie and Cedar Point in the distance. So development opportunities exist, and they are looking for interested parties to contact them for more information. So those plans are still in progress. So I hope this look at what's new in 2017 at Cedar Point and into 2018 with Hotel Breakers was an interesting, informative video to watch. I have a Platinum Season Pass, so I can continue to bring you more interesting videos. So please subscribe to Amusement 420 on YouTube. I put this promo screen at the end of most of my videos, so you have easy access to subscribing and watching my YouTube video playlists. I've been shooting videos since 2006. Thanks for watching and please subscribe for more.